Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Here I am, all relaxed and calm after last week's terrible drama when my video editing computer decided to die on me just as I was making last week's edition of Ask Mr. Duncan. Fortunately, I still have my little laptop, so a big cheer for my laptop! Okay, that's enough. I have some of your email questions and comments to read out again. So, without any more waiting for that, let's have our first question for today. Is it better to learn English through watching movies with or without subtitles? This interesting question comes from Rodrigo Marketic, who lives in Argentina. As you are no doubt aware, I use subtitles in all of my lessons. They act as a guide for those who have a basic grasp of English and now wish to advance further. While watching a movie, you will find subtitles useful for getting used to the fast pace of English speech and dialogue and accustomed to the many different accents which exist in English. Some people find certain American accents hard to follow. Subtitles allow you to closely study the words on the screen as they are spoken. Subtitles serve a very important role and are an invaluable tool for those adjusting to the faster-paced delivery of English. After a while, you can start listening to the words without the subtitles and see how much you can understand. While watching my lessons, you can cover or hide the subtitles, or just simply listen to the sound. Test yourself regularly. This is not a quick solution, and just like any other learning exercise, it will take time. So to answer your question, subtitles are very useful and they do provide a great aid to those who really want to improve their English listening and comprehension skills. A nice email. I have received a lovely email from Lalantha Ignatius, who writes to me from Sri Lanka. Lalantha has watched 53 of my full lessons and has recently discovered my new Ask Mr. Duncan channel too. Your 1,000 million thanks are greatly appreciated as well. And yes, Lalantha, I do have a personal Facebook page, and there are other Mr. Duncan Facebook pages too, which have been created by some of my online students. Thank you for your email, and good luck to you too. What does the sentence "fingers crossed" mean, and when do we use it? This question was sent in by Alani, who follows my lessons in Kurdistan. The expression "keep your fingers crossed" refers to the wish for good luck. It is both an expression and an action. For example, just before I sit my English exam, I will cross my fingers and wish for success. I hope I will pass this exam. You can wish a person good luck by telling them to keep their fingers crossed. Fingers crossed you should pass the exam. You can ask another person to wish good luck to you. My exam is coming soon. Keep your fingers crossed for me. A tasty idiom. This is a loaf of bread, and there are some phrases and idioms connected directly and indirectly to this particular food. If we say that someone loafs around or is a loafer, we are stating that he or she is lazy and avoids doing any work. Another expression is use your loaf. In this sentence, the word loaf means head. Use your brain, which is, of course, in your head. In this situation, the word loaf comes from the London Cockney rhyming slang, loaf of bread, head. Bread can also be used as a slang word for money. Another nice email. I have received a nice email from Rijan Bandari, who lives in Nepal. I'm happy to hear that your search for an online teacher brought you to my video channel. I hope my lessons will continue to help you with your English studies. Keep in touch, Rijan, and let me know how you get on. Your name, Mr. Duncan, is grammatically incorrect. Why do you spell it this way? This is a question I'm asked again and again by many people, sometimes in a very rude way. The simple answer is that Mr. Duncan is a nickname. It came into being during my time in China, and it has stuck with me ever since. As Duncan is my first name, it would not be right to address me as Mr. Duncan, as in English we only use Mr., Miss or Mrs. when addressing someone by their family name, their surname. So technically speaking, Mr. Duncan is not grammatically incorrect. In fact, calling me Mr. Duncan would be incorrect. So, Mr. Duncan as a complete word is my nickname. It is a title with which I can be identified and found, especially here on YouTube. If you don't believe me, try typing Mr. Duncan as a search on Google and see what happens. Another nice email. I have no idea how this goes back. I have received a nice email from Muzammil, one of my online viewers in Pakistan, who wrote to me last weekend after noticing that Ask Mr. Duncan 18 had not been posted onto my channel. Well, as you all now know, my computer broke down just as I was about to begin editing it. That is the reason why it was posted late last week. Thank you, Muzammil, for your concern, and a big hello to you. What are the differences between look, see, and watch? This question was sent in by Augusto Barral, who works as a teacher in Brazil. It is probably easier to look at the similarities first. All these words relate to your eyes being on something. You are looking at something. You are seeing something. You are watching something. You look at it. You see it. You watch it. In this context, they are similar. However, if your eyes are fixed on an event involving actions or an object that is moving, then we normally use watch or see. I'm watching the football match. I went to see a football match. Look usually relates to viewing something which is still or static. Look at a photo. Look at a painting. Look at a magazine. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, if I wanted to draw your attention to something or someone. Hey, look at that man! He's got no trousers on! So, watch and see are often used as direct synonyms, while look tends to be used more as a way of showing a sudden action or a negative one. He looked at me all the time. He would not stop looking at me. We can also use the word stare in this way. What are you looking at? What are you staring at? We also use watch in sentences such as watch the television or watch TV. If we are talking about something that was shown on the television, then we often use see. Did you see the football match on television last night? Before I press Alt-Control-Delete for this week, I would like to say a special hello to Robert Mosch, who comes from Brazil but is now living in the USA. Hello to Halam Mayat Hetwe, who lives in Myanmar and asks about the best way to learn written English. Well, there is no simple way, but there are many useful ways to gain written English skills. Using books as a reference will help you to pick up new words and improve your spelling. Of course, you will need a dictionary. Thanks to modern technology, it is much easier nowadays to translate from and to virtually any language using a computer or an electronic dictionary. That is all from me for today. Thank you for sending me your questions and comments. I can promise you that I do read all of them, even though I cannot always answer them here. I will be back with you again next week for another Q&A session. Who knows, I could be answering you. This is Mr. Duncan in England saying thank you for asking me, and of course, ta-ta for now.